ID? Check. Boarding pass? Check.
But do you have your vaccination passport? It could be the new standard in traveling.
Quite simply it will be required. The real question is what technology will be available to create a universally acceptable, a universally readable, and a document that can't be forged.
CBS News travel editor Peter Greenberg says early versions are in development all around the world.
The private sector is all racing to come up with one. Some governments are doing it. Denmark is creating a digital passport for its citizens that will contain all your current medical information that can be updatable on that digital card.
While digital versions are the ultimate goal, Greenberg says early models will likely be physical, like these created by award-winning scientist and inventor Isaac Daniel.
This is the e-vaccine, which is electronic vaccine passport.
You know that little white card that you get after your vaccination? Well, the same information goes into here. When you got your first dose, which one you got, and the date. You can have that information right here in this book, or you can access it electronically.
When you go to the airport and they, just like your passport, and they just swipe it, all your information already there.
Greenberg says vaccine verification for travel could be mandatory on cruise lines and some airlines as soon as July.
They're going to be asking for it at your point of departure and at your point of entry. So at the airline ticket counter, at a passport control, and at the same time when you're entering a country at Customs and Border Protection.
All right, Shalom. I want to start off giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the born to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. And as you see, as we go farther into the so-called, new year, right? Things are starting to go underway. Biden just announced that, hey, we'll be wearing masks more than 90 days or 100 days, as he said. He's saying throughout the whole year. And we have already told you this devil was going to start to show his horns. But see, his horns are just little lumps popping out of his head now. You can't even see the horns where it begin to curve yet. But see, this is coming very shortly. But now what are you starting to see underway? Travel restrictions. There will be travel restrictions for people who don't take Maxine. All right, there's a new one that I was watching a while back ago. Ice Age Farmer. He goes into some very good information. Right, as you see, no vax, no Maxine. Subscribe to him on this channel as well. No food. So this is what's coming down the pipeline. And we're gonna play a little bit on his channel as well, because see, this is a news and prophecy article or news and prophecy lesson. Okay, for us to continue to warn and to feed the sheep with this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So let's get this first scripture. And we can go back into this article. Let's go to the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2. Verse 11, it reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." And see, Satan doesn't have an advantage over us. You see, because we're not ignorant of his devices. We're not ignorant of what he is setting up. This whole New World Order, the whole MOB, mark of the beast system, right? But he's using this pandemic to have this thing go underway, or to further, establish this mark of the beast system, right? The Maxine is paving the way. So just how you see this, how it was the no mask, right? No masks, no service. Well, it's gonna further continue down the line of no Maxine, no service. No chip. If you ain't gonna have a mark of the beast, you ain't gonna be able to do anything. When it talks about you won't be able to buy or sell. See, this is what everything is being geared towards, and they're using the pandemic to have this thing go underway. Right? It's slowly being pushed on you. It's a term called gradualism that Esau uses. Right? He doesn't just stow it on you. He systematically does things and ushers this in slowly but surely until you what? Until you accept it. Until you look at it as this is normal. Because right now, getting up before you go to work is, when you grab your keys off the table to go to work, you grab your wallet and everything, you make sure you don't forget that mask. When you jump out the car to run to go do something, you tend to look for what first? Your mask. You see? So this is being, you have been doing this in a repetitious cycle for so long as this mask is now with you as much as your wallet or as much as your phone. Okay, let's get a phone. People don't like to leave the home without the phone. All right, people will be 5 minutes from work and they forget their phone. Then what? They'll go back home. Well, it's the same thing with that mask. People forget their mask. They got to turn around, go back home and get that mask. See, because now it has become the norm. All right. So this is another article I want to go into. It says no Max, no food. UK supermarkets may require the Max passport. You see, and as this guy speaking, as it says, Maxine Passports considered, and we just played the clip of them speaking about this. So let's play a little bit of this.
Repeated promises that the UK government would never, ever consider doing so. Dominic Raab turned heads this morning on LBC when he announced that yes, we are considering deploying the COVID vaccine passports domestically, and you might need them even to go to the supermarket. Take a listen.
Back on the vaccine passports, clearly this is something that's going to have to be agreed internationally, which the government is now making signs that it's looking at. What's, though, to stop a company in this country demanding that in order to enter a restaurant or in order to go into a pub in the future, that someone produce a document saying that they've got a vaccine, a domestic vaccine passport where you have to show a bit of paper to go into a supermarket or something like that?
Well, it's something that hasn't been ruled out and it's under consideration, but of course you've got to make it workable, and you've got to. I think the thing with when I've looked at this, whether it's on the international, the domestic, or the local level, you've got to know that the document that is being presented is something that you can rely on.
Well, yes, Bob, we are considering requiring a vaccine passport just to let you buy food at the supermarket. Oops, blimey, wasn't supposed to read that part yet. And indeed, Dominic Raab's aides scrambled to clarify that Mr. Raab had been responding to a hypothetical question, you see, and while vaccine passports are being looked at for international travel, which was also never supposed to happen, they're certainly not being considered domestically. No, that's not supposed to happen till April, you see. Yes, this is being covered by the Daily Mail and several other publications, but while it is new to actually hear it straight from...
All right, so you can go to the Ice Age Farmer, and get a little bit more information. He brings out pretty good information, but it's the point that you see. All right, this is from the Daily. All right, this is all in the Daily News. It says Dominic Raab says vaccine passports could be needed to get into pubs or supermarkets in the UK, despite the government insisting they will only be used for foreign travel. But we see where this is going. All right, and this is what we have been speaking of. The vaccine is going to be needed just as well how they push the mask on the workforce. You can't go to your workforce without that mask. They tell you to go home. You can't go into the supermarkets without that mask. They'll escort you out the store. And I have been seeing people escorted violently, not only by security, but by public civilians or citizens, I'll say, of people saying, you're a threat to the public. So imagine when this vaccine roll around and you don't take the vaccine. People are going to look at you like you got 3 heads. They're going to look at you as a walking disease, a walking threat. And they're going to do anything means necessary to want to get you off the streets. So if they put up something on the news, let's say, well, if you know anyone that hasn't taken the vaccine, can you please call this number, 1-800 blah, 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 blah. Okay, can you report anyone that you know of who haven't taken the Maxine and you have concerns and they are, a threat to your safety or they're a threat to the public health, you best believe these people are going to turn you in, turn against you. We talking about our own family, right? So-called family, associates, co-workers, even certain people with their different spouses. See, you're going to see a big division come when this thing is actually mandated. And this is before the mark of the beast. So how much more when the mark of the beast is on a grand scale? Because now people are taking it willingly, right? A lot of things are being done willingly. Even though they're talking about the Maxine, you need to take it, you should take it. They're still giving that option, which people are taking it. But in a minute, it's about to not be optional. The Draconian law is going to come in that manner. Let's go into that word real quick. Draco. Draconian says of laws or their application, excessively harsh and severe. Check that out. So that's how they're going to come. We know he does things, he sets up unrighteous decrees as it is now. So it's going to happen even more when this devil roll out, right? Because he know if he got a short time. That's why he's going to come down with great wrath. Draconian as an adjective meaning of great severity that derives from Draco, an Athenian law scribe under whom small offenses had heavy punishment. Draconian laws. All right, so let's go into the scriptures. Let's get an example of a heavy punishment will be considered a draconian law. Check this out, right? Yeah, because best believe they're going to put you in different concentration camps for these different things, right? Because they're going to say you're defying, you're defying the laws that they have set up. So they want to separate you from the public because you are a concern, you are a threat. But I want to get an example real fast. Let's check this out. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 4. It says, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness and testimony of Yahweh and the word of the Most High. Why? In which had not, what didn't they do? In which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or on their right hands, and they lived and reigned with the Mashiach 1,000 years. This is a draconian law being established. Okay, well, we're going to behead you. We're going to behead you for the witness of Yahweh and for the word of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, because you didn't worship the beast, neither his image, neither received the mark upon your right hand or your forehead. Okay? And this is the lot in some story of that's going to fall upon certain brothers. Right? But we got to be faithful unto death. We got to fear him that's not able to kill, fear him not, we got to fear him that's able to kill the body and so on hell. Let's just get that. Matthew 10, verse 28, chapter 10, verse 28 says, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Okay? You see? So we don't need to fear this devil. Okay? Because he's coming. And he's going to come through draconian law. He's going to use everything against you. Right? He's going to use everything against you. He's going to use all your resources. He's going to use people around you. He's going to do all these things to try to get you to comply with his wicked, deceptive way of life. Okay? To be in league or be in sync with his system, his new way of life. okay, which is actually death. When E speaks about his way of life, it's actually death. It's not life at all. He's anti-life, right? And we see it through his works. But see, brothers and sisters, this was coming upon us. So we got to continue to have faith, man. You know? We got to continue to have faith. So don't get too comfortable. And I got to speak that first and foremost to myself. We cannot get too comfortable because things are going to start to change subtly. And in some cases than others, more rapidly than others. You know, because right now, I heard the brother Elder Yashawama did a beautiful, lesson through the spirit. You know, he was speaking on how, the routines that we're used to, like we're still in some form of accountability. You know, we can still do things as we please, so to speak. But see, these things are about to be taken from us, right? You got the mindset of you're not taking the Maxine, you're not taking the Mark of the Beast. Well, you know what's coming. Travel restrictions, which is the first thing that we see that's about to go, is out. You're stuck. Now again, unless you want to start driving, see, because right now they're doing airplanes, okay? Because they're saying the airport is a hot zone for spreading, the virus. Then it's going to go to, them having some type of form of checkpoints, But they could simply have that set up just through what? Toll booths, okay? And make those toll booths be monitored instead of how people could just drop change in and go. They could just do it in a monitored system. But see, Esau wants to do it a certain way of this thing being digital where they don't have to do it so manually. They want it to be on auto, like autopilot. So this is why they're setting up a digital system, because that's the easier way for them to track, easier the way for them to do this, and an easier way for them to do that. So now this is leading to what? The RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. Right? Not only can you make payments with this can bring up your medical history. This is also can track you. See, this is easy for the devil. Well, people will make an argument and say, well, he already can track you. Yeah, he can. Kind of. But he wants to do it on a whole nother level. Okay? He want to do it case by case. I mean, yeah, he got drones and satellites and the phones and things like that. He can track you with. He can look at you through the smart TVs and new game systems and things like that. But see, you can throw your phone, you can leave your house, you can do this and that. But if you get the chip in you, well, you don't have, it's a whole nother ball game. You see, you can't do that. See, you will always be on their grid once you take the chip. You see what I'm saying? And this is going to be his new system. Just like you see cash registers at supermarkets. What do they say? Well, this register is for credit cards and debit cards only. These ones over here to the left don't take cash. You got to go to the ones to the right. But they're getting you into the normality of what? Of not being used of dealing with cash. Okay? To just using your credit and debit card. And some people don't even use that. Why? Because they got Apple Pay. They got Google Pay. They do everything off their phone. Which is going to transition to the chip. And this is what we've been speaking of. Okay? And we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. And it reads, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So they're looping everyone into this. Right? They want everyone lumped into this. In this pot. Okay? Hey, we even seen I believe it was something about like inmates or something like that. If they receive the Maxine, like they get some type of benefits, like an early release or something to that effect. You know, see, this is what E's doing. You know, and people, like I said, people are already going through hardships. So why wouldn't they take what E got, you know, for some type of gain? That's how they look at it. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on the spirit, Lord will and hope was edifying. So yeah, these things are coming down the pipeline, you know. These things are coming and we got to be on point. Okay? We got to gird up our loins. We got to remain faithful. We got to continue to be prayed up. You know, rolling in the spirit. You know, more now than ever. Okay, because this devil is coming. Slowly but surely. He coming. But we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, he has us. Okay? We'll be protected in the times of trouble. In the times of hell, which is affliction. Being compassed by the wicked. Trouble on all sides. Lord, we hope this lesson was edifying. Until next time, I want to say shalom.